Right, chaps, I thought I'd cover the installation of a Decat pipe on the Colt Ralliart CZT and also the Brabus 404. I would have liked to do an install video on this, but unfortunately I lost a key bit of footage, and unfortunately to get that again I have to take it all apart, which I don't really want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover some of it on the bench using the stock elbow and the stock cat, and then we'll go under the car and obviously show you what's what there as well. So essentially, all you have to do to remove the main cat is remove those two bolts, remove the nuts off these spring washers here, so they just come off, like I say, and obviously that is pull out, and remove the three 12mm bolts are there. A couple of things to note: these bolts will be super tight. I had to use a long ratchet to get them off. And also I would strongly advise use 6-point sockets, so like those sort of things. They're typically what you get in your socket sets, and that 12 points might be alright, but if it rounds you're going to need to obviously use something like a twist socket to get it off, and then you'll obviously have to replace the nut. So strongly advise 6 points. Also spray it down with some WD-40 or something, leave it for 10 minutes, that'll help. But yeah, that's basically it for removal. Just those two, and those three. And literally once you've done that, it will just come out. So, moving on to the car. You can see we have the Decat pipe fitted. So you can see that where it connects to the standard exhaust there. And obviously, as we scroll through, up there, you can see where it connects. And that's where those two nuts would be. So essentially, once you've removed the stock cat, you just need to put this in its place. Now, a couple of things to note. You can use the factory fixings to put this on. I didn't want to do that. I used two M10B50 bolts, which I've double knocked, mainly because this pipe's not really it's not quite right. I don't know if you can see it there, but the flange is welded onto the pipe pissed. Apparently this is quite common on these pipes. I mean, they're only like 40 quid. But because of that, it means that it sits wrong. Essentially, it's kind of tighter at the top than it is at the bottom, and it's tighter on one side than it is on the other. Unfortunately, it uses a donut gasket, so despite obviously that big gap, it does seal and it doesn't leak. So literally, I decided to use just two normal bolts because I can get them a lot tighter than I can with the springs. It does mean you sort of bend this flange a little bit, but it kind of is what it is really. As you can see up there, that's where those three 12mm bolts are. You can see there, and they obviously hold the cat in place. Because obviously it's no longer bolted into the car, you don't kind of need that flexibility really anymore either, which obviously you get with the spring bolts, because the idea is the spring bolts will allow it to pivot, so when the engine moves. When it's bolted like this, because the exhaust system, it's basically not bolted to the car anymore, apart from obviously on the elbow. So the exhaust system moves, so it'd be alright. Plenty of people have done it this way, so I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. You can, like I say, you can use the spring bolts. I just think if you have any imperfections in this, which there probably will be, it may not seal correctly. So moving up front, you can see that's where it pulls there. So great access to all these bolts. Dead easy to install. I've actually got bolts in there rather than nuts and studs, because my elbow is different, and I'll go over that in a different video. But yeah, essentially this is a fantastic mod. Although obviously I'm not sure the car will pass an MOT anymore, this is a fantastic mod. It made such a difference. Like I say, turbo cars really like exhaust system changes, so definitely recommend this. Also worth noting, double knot. The way this goes, it goes flat washer on this side, flat, spring, nut, spring, nut. I've double knotted them just to stop it coming loose. It should help with that. But yeah, essentially that's it, guys. I'd highly recommend it. Best 40 quid I've probably ever spent on this car so far, so I'd strongly recommend it. So thanks for watching anyway, and yeah, cheers guys.